All right, let's do it live on a Football Friday edition of the program. Merely Bo, the Great Z, and we have a quarterback change, buddy.
We do. Deshaun Watson will start for the Cleveland Browns. He will be your starting quarterback, and he will be without limitation, according to head coach Kevin Stefanski, who spoke with the media just a few minutes ago. So as for the Browns, in terms of this injury report, that's obviously, I think, the biggest news. Deshaun Watson is back. He will start at quarterback. David Bell, Greg Newsome, Alex Wright are all out. We could see the Cleveland Browns debut of Isaiah McGuire at defensive end, I would think, this week. Obviously, you're going to need Cedric Tillman in a big, big way. More Marquise Goodwin with David Bell out. Greg Newsome out means Cam Mitchell will start there. DeJuan Jones is questionable. He has been able to participate in practice the last 2 days. I think that provided he goes on the same trajectory, it's likely he'll be able to go. If not, James Hudson will go, and James Hudson started 3 games at right tackle a year ago for the Browns, did not give up a sack in relief of Jack Conklin.
This is all about 4.
That's right.
And it's about him coming back. And look, we haven't seen him play, really, since the Tennessee game.
It was week 3.
That's
brother.
it. It's been a long, long time coming. I don't, in terms of what to expect out of him, I think we're all kind of in the same boat. Like, nobody really knows. Like, I don't know if he knows because it's been so long. Like, any notion, like he's had a good week of practice. The media's been able to see a lot of these practices. It looks like it's going pretty well. But as he alluded to, even in the Indy game, and as he alluded to earlier in the season, until you get in there in a real game, you just don't know how you're going to respond to it. I think if you think I go back to what you said on Monday. This was the game for him to play because this is a soft landing versus paratrooping in to the beaches of Normandy next week in Baltimore. So to me, This you had to play in this one to get your head right to play in the next one. You don't need his best. Deshaun Watson playing clean on Sunday, which we haven't had clean quarterback play in terms of no turnovers ever. If we have clean quarterback play from him, you win by 2 scores going away, at least. So this is the perfect place for him to re-enter into the fray.
Yeah, the only game in which, in fact, our quarterback has not turned the ball over was Deshaun's last. We had 1 turnover in that one. We have not played clean football as an offense. That's it, though. 1 out of 7, which is not a very good ratio. It's 14%.
Gibby, your mic's on. Too bad you don't have a light.
Hi.
We could just hear
We could hear your whole conversation.
You and Uno.
I
could hear everything.
Griff.
Or Griff. Is it young Griff?
Yes.
Yes, we're trying to do a program here.
We're doing a radio
We're doing a radio
A
program.
couple of giant bees.
Yep, massive.
Not this guy.
Very small.
Not today.
Very small P out of you, Gibby. Very small P. Having your mic on when we're starting the program.
Been told
Sad.
far worse.
Maybe.
Probably true. But, yeah, no. This is a game where you should be able to win. Quite frankly, if Clayton Tune starts, and all reports now kind of coming out of Arizona are that it will.
There was even today, was it today when Gannon's available and he was like, we're going to decide on the flight to Cleveland who's starting?
Well, if that's the case, then they're going to have to activate him to the roster. It would be.
It won't. I don't know that it would be Kyler. It might be
Driscoll.
Who knows? Gamesmanship.
Driscoll did start.
I still do love that hoodie.
It's great.
It's a great.
It's the classic.
Hoodie. It's the classic hoodie.
Driscoll did start against the Cleveland Browns as a member of the Cincinnati Bengals in 2018. He did not win that game.
Great recall out of you.
Yeah.
Remembering a Jeff Driscoll start. Pretty sure he played in Florida, didn't he?
He came in both
Florida
of those
Gators.
Games. A Gator for the old Driscoll.
Feels
right.
like a transfer guy. I could see him maybe starting at Florida and ending up at NC State or something like that.
I'll dive into that while we discuss amongst each other.
Wow, what happened? Look out. Did you see that?
What is going on?
Lights went out there. Did you see that, Gibby?
Yeah.
Who did that? Who's responsible?
I don't
No
know.
idea.
Yellowstone was walking in front, and all of a sudden it went dark. And I thought, doesn't seem good.
Jeff Driscoll.
Come on, baby. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I'm trying to click on the. Here we go. Florida and then Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech.
Suck.
Drafted by the Niners in the 6th round of the 2016 NFL Draft, Driscoll 1-9 as a starter in the National Football League.
Yeah.
There you go. Played a little bit last year in Houston, though. Had a little bit, 14-20. Lost a start in Houston last year. But, yeah, played against the Browns twice in 2018 as a member of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Jacoby Brissett, Florida, NC State.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Listen.
So I knew there was one.
Yeah.
And I knew Jeff started at Florida, and I knew that
You
he
called
went
it,
somewhere
dude.
else.
Don't explain.
Sad. No,
don't explain anymore.
There's a
Huge V.
standard when it comes to where guys played college
Yeah.
that I hold myself to, and that is an abject failure.
I only do that if they played in the Pac-12, given that that's where I'm an aficionado.
Yeah, I like that. Well, you are a Pac-12 aficionado.
Well, that's it.
It's your brethren. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a big one. It's a big one for 4. It's a big one to get right. It's a big one to be clean. I do not expect this to be a smooth operation just because he hasn't played in a very, very long time. But I expect it to be better than what we've got in the last month.
Agreed. And I do think it has a chance to be. We've got our running game really going. I think it does have a chance to be. And we need to be kind of a smooth operation. Smooth operator. It would be great. Oh, yeah.
Sade, boy, that was something.
A heater.
What a voice.
Yeah, what a voice.
What a voice.
Only person I would say that I've heard recently that has a voice of that ilk would be the great Jade McRae.
Oh, lock, stock. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
that's
2
right.
smoking barrels.
For sure. And back touring.
Back touring. Yeah.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. Very happy about it.
Yeah.
It's an important game. And this is a game for the Browns that, other than the fact that you put a win into the win column, not much is gained by winning this one, but the effects of a loss in this game, I think, could be catastrophic. So this is one where you must take care of your business.
It's a must win. I'll say it right now.
I agree with that phraseology.
Knowing what we know about what's to come,
yes,
can't have it.
No.
Can't have it. Got to take care of your business. That's the way that thing's got to go. So, look, I'm thrilled he's back. I'm just measuring expectations just because we haven't seen him play in a very long time. We played against Indy, and that went how it went.
By the way, I think that after watching last night, and we'll talk about this in more detail, but the voodoo is real. I'm going to make a recommendation to Brent that we have as our dog pound captain for the game against the Steelers, Papa Shango, so that we can combat Mike Tomlin's voodoo with voodoo of our own.
I don't know how it's stunning how they do it. What do you got, Gibby?
Nothing. I was cursing our internet because the press conference I was rolling on just crashed.
Uno's on the press conference.
Great.
Uno's in the
wonderful.
press. Look at him.
What's he doing?
Holding court.
What's he doing? He testing mics?
Is he being interviewed?
People interviewing him?
What is he doing?
Is he holding his own presser?
To see if he had any ideas on camera right now.
Oh, shoot.
Gibby couldn't even get a shot.
Oh,
that's one of the where the.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that came. By the way, Senior Swag walked by earlier today.
Give it to me.
He came to the window to tell me exactly what he was wearing. He is wearing Jordan 1s that are called Trophy Room. It is the Trophy Room colorway, which he seemed very pleased with. Quite pleased. And they're very cool looking.
That's what he was wearing yesterday?
No, yesterday was the one off-whites. Now he's wearing...
Isn't that what he was wearing yesterday, was that?
No, it looks like that. No, these are the Trophy Rooms. Those are the off-white Bulls 1s that he was wearing yesterday. Today he's wearing the Trophy Rooms, which if you see...
I thought that's what he was wearing yesterday.
No. This has got a little fade in it.
It's a laptop, not a...
I know. I wasn't trying to touch it.
Oh, I thought
it's got a little fade in it, and it's got, I think, his signature here.
Okay.
Pull up, just do the off-white Jordan 1s, and you'll see what he was wearing yesterday. Similar, I could see why you think, because
they really look close.
But the red's different. It's got a little of a fade into it. It's a beautiful, beautiful shoe. He had on yesterday the off-white.
The red and black, right?
Red and blacks, yep. Off-white.
Okay.
Yeah, which, as we discussed, we came to find yesterday.
I didn't even know they did that. I thought when they did the Virgil Abloh off-whites, they were all gray and white.
Nope.
I didn't realize that they had some, but they were actually the Carolina one, too.
Yeah, there's Carolina. That came out, that's later. I think the red and whites are in the original 10. If I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken.
All right. Well, there you go. He's got 2 pair of shoes that are more than I paid for college.
Not me.
Well, no.
Not me.
Private school.
Not
Private
me.
school. Worked out quite well on that side of things. So, yeah, you got a lot to look forward to. The Newsome injury, were we expecting that on Sunday that this would be a 2-weeker or a 1-week-out injury?
Yeah, I think they're going eye on the prize with him.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh coming up. It's a groin, muscles. And if there's been anything that's limited Greg Newsome throughout the early duration of his career, it has been leg soft tissue injuries because he is so, I think, just jacked. He's a specimen.
Yeah. Was it the groin Has it been the groin for the last month, or was it a quad or a hammy? He had something. Remember, he was
did.
in here with us when the biggest L walked by
And gave him the thumbs up.
He gave him the thumbs up that he was okay.
I think that may have been a quad.
I felt like that was quad. Yeah, 'cause it was wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now he's got
the groin.
The groin.
There you go. That's where we stand on that side of things. Arizona will wait on their injury report and wait on what their quarterback is. But quite frankly, your defense is so good, and they are wounded and battered and just, quite frankly, not a very good football team. So a clean quarterback performance ought to be far more than enough from Deshaun Watson this week. We do have a lot to get to on the program. You mentioned that Thursday night football game. We will look into that, among other things happening in the league. That is coming up next. Cornerback coach Brandon Lynch will join us coming up at the bottom of the hour, plus the normal tomfoolery, your overs, your unders, your scores, your matchup, everything that you need. We're off and running on a Football Friday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet. Sports betting partner, your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Hey, Browns fans, you can enter for a chance to win season tickets for the 2024 season from Sugardale, your local Meijer. Head to browns.com/contest to enter now, and don't forget to grab Sugardale bacon on your next trip to Meijer. We had Thursday Night Football last night. You're welcome. Told you that's exactly how that one would go, and that's exactly it did.
Boy, did you. I didn't want to because I don't think they're very good. And watching the game, it's maddening watching that game. I was furious.
It's sorcery.
It's voodoo. Papa Shango. We need him.
I don't know any other way than that. But I did want. There's a lot of ways to go in this, and the fact that team is 5-3 is certainly chief among them.
They are the only team in the history of the NFL to be outgained in each of their first 8 games and to have a winning record. And they've been outgained by, I think it's 790 yards so far this season,
close,
which is insane. The only team that's worse is Denver because of that Miami game.
And they're not elite defensively.
They have
they have elite
front.
players.
They have an elite front.
Yeah, and they have an elite front, and they have the 2 ends that get home.
Joey Porter Jr. holds on every play.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
He holds on every single play.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Guess that's the old Seahawks, right? If I hold on every play, then you're not going to
call it on.
You're not going to call it on every single play. I want to do one other thing, one other little exercise first,
please,
and it's in regard to Will Levis.
Like him.
If I were to plop you down and say one of these 2 quarterbacks you're watching tonight was drafted in the first round, was curated, given a ton of talent to play around, certainly from a receiver position, and everything has been done to make him the franchise quarterback. And the other one begrudgingly ends up on your team, kind of because it's like, well, we have to take him at this point. I don't even think the coach really wants him and doesn't want to play him long term. Even today, saying that he wasn't going to commit to him long term.
What?
Yeah, he said we'll make the decision this weekend on what we're going to do at quarterback. No kidding.
That's insane.
So basically, the only reason the other guy played is because there was an injury that forced him to play. And if you were to just watch that blindly, it wasn't close. Levis was head, shoulders, torso above Pickett.
Oh, my God.
It's not close. And it's not even like
close.
He made tough throws into tight windows on the sideline with off balance from a platform standpoint.
Effortless thrower of the football.
Very much. And
good poise, good size.
Hangs in the pocket. You think about how hard it is to land the plane at quarterback in this position, in this league, how difficult. This dude falls into your lap with Tennessee, and him being this good allows for an entire change in the way you're building that roster. Look at Philly. When you have a second-round pick start at quarterback, now we can spend. They can fast-track a build.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
I think
I'm all in on him.
I was very impressed by him. In fact, I'd go so far as to say, and this may sound crazy, and I can't say that I've sat and watched a full play full game like I did last night of Carolina, but I would feel from the limited I've seen of Bryce Young in the National Football League, and what I saw of Will Levis last night, and watching a lot of the Washington game, I feel like he is absolutely. If I was Carolina, I'd rather have Will Levis than Bryce Young, which may be insane take, but the way he looks to me, he looks much better.
No, I don't think it's a crazy stretch to say that. I'm with you. I haven't seen enough of Bryce's games to be able to know like what it looks like every down, down in, down out. But
that dude stands in the pocket.
He's big in the pocket. He stands in the pocket. His feet are in the right spots. He's looking downfield. As it's collapsing around him, he's hanging in and keeping his head up.
I kept waiting for a sack strip fumble because those guys just are relentless buzzing. And now that they've got Benton, who was a guy that the Browns were high on the defensive tackle, I think from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He and Cam push the pocket. They have a great front. Their linebackers are their corners are and without Minka, their safeties are You can throw the ball all over them, but that front is elite, and he did a good job. He throws a pick at the end because they keep running. They ran 4 verts like 3 plays in a row,
right?
As if they have 3 people standing there. There's nowhere to throw that ball,
right?
They're playing man 3 deep. Come on, you play man. You know you can't run that. Those combos are not going to work.
Not going to work.
And that was their only turnover. I was very impressed by him. The Steelers, it's like nothing is great. They get penalties at the most wonderful times for their offense. It feels like always on a 3rd down or in the red zone. It was tough to watch. They are not great, yet they are 5-3, and the Browns need to win to match that. And the Browns have to beat them when we play them in 2 weeks. We've got to beat them. They are not. That is not a good football team. And they win all close games, right? Aren't all of their wins?
I'm pulling it up right now because they're 5-3. Game back of Baltimore. Yeah, no, they got drilled by the 49ers, but then beat us by 4, beat the Raiders by 5. They got drilled by the Texans 30-6.
Yep.
Ravens beat them 17-10.
No, they beat the Ravens.
Or they beat the Ravens 17-10. They beat the Rams 24-17, lost to the Jaguars by 10, and then beat Tennessee. They are Green Bay next week at home. They'll win that. So they're going to be 6-3 when we play them.
And then they go at us, at the Bengals.
So they could lose 2 in a row there. But
Home
then it's Cardinals,
Cardinals.
Patriots, Colts.
Home Bengals, at Seahawks, at Ravens. Their final 3 is they could go 0-3 there.
They could, but they might have 9 wins by the time they get there.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that like he's not going to have a losing record with this operation.
Never does.
This operation.
He doesn't. Never does.
It's wild. Yeah, it's just a voodoo at that place. It's a voodoo for them and him. There's a belief, and it's, I usually like to say, I think sometimes fans, and consider myself certainly one, that sometimes we make too big of a deal about emotional things or about culture or whatever. Man, over there, that's real. That is real. There's an accountability that's there. There's a belief that they can win even when they don't have any damn business winning.
Talk to Joe Hayden. Talk to Larry Ogunjobi. Talk to Zach Banner. Talk to any of the guys that were on our team that I was able to have a good enough relationship that I could go talk to about it, and they absolutely would tell you the Steeler way, the Steeler mystique, Mike Tomlin, all of it is real, and it matters.
Yeah.
I saw Dan Graziano this morning said, and you have people right now in Pittsburgh who want to get rid of him.
Tomlin?
They want to get rid of Tomlin. They want Canada gone. And
Canada.
Tomlin as well.
Year for probably the last 5 or 6 years. There is an outcry. You either love Mike Tomlin or you hate Mike Tomlin.
I don't understand how you could hate him because never lost.
He never lost.
Never lost.
You want to do the
amazing.
No, you want to go at Canada. You want to go at the guy who drafted Kenny Pickett. Fine, you can do that all day long.
They love Pickett there though.
That's because he's a Pitt guy. They're blinded by it. He played at Pitt. It's just blinded.
I get people saying that fourth quarter Pickett's like Mahomes.
I know.
All that wrapped into one. He had negative yards against us in the fourth quarter, but we didn't win. So,
yeah. No, he is who you think he is. It's the rest of their stuff that is, I don't know.
Pickens is so good, but if you catch a ball 5 yards inbounds, you have got to be able to put your other foot down before it goes out of bounds. Like just you caught it on one, just drag your toe.
I think that's the stuff that was maddening for people in the draft process with him.
Little details.
The little detail stuff. Like he would always do the big picture stuff.
But he was open a ton in that game, and
he sure
Pickett
was.
could not get him the football.
No. Pickett has, his highest completion percentage in a game this season is 68. He did that against the Rams. Everything else,
and he got
56.
Remember the spot they got in that game? Like they get in the fourth quarter, all these little things that happen. It's amazing, but they've got it. They got the mystique. Don't hate, participate. I don't want to participate, but that's what they do. That's what they do. It's
His yards per completion, on the season, is 6.5
per completion.
I think.
Is it YA?
It just says no. I'm just on the main. Let me see.
Let me say show it to me.
Yards per attempt.
Yards per attempt.
Which
is still low.
6.5. Yeah,
that's low.
Yeah, 6.5.
The elite guys are in the 8 range. Mm-hmm. You want to be above 7.
Yeah, 61% on the season. And yet 5-3, and they sort it out.
They sort it out, brother.
Here's the thing that they're going to find themselves in, and it was a similar thing we were in with Baker, is you have a guy who you can win with, but do you have a guy to win it all with? And that's what led to the acquisition of Deshaun Watson, is because you had a guy who, you could win with Baker. We did. Won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Made the playoffs with Baker. You can do it. And he had an ability to do that. But what your goal was different. Your goal was go win it all, and there's a ceiling on that type of play.
No doubt.
And you watch last night, if from the Pittsburgh perspective, you're saying, good Lord, I wish we had that dude.
I would think you would.
I want that guy.
There is something about Pickett, and you got to give him this due, is that for whatever the circumstances are, whether it's the voodoo, whatever it is, he does feel like he is capable of being dreadful all game. And then he only made one good throw on that last drive, but it was a good throw, although the corner kind of stumbled, whatever. He already has, what they say, 6 game-winning drives, which is second in the league since the start of 2022. It's wild to me.
Yeah, but like, how much of that though is the fact that defense does what it does? I mean, the Highsmith sack yesterday, like they just do those things that it's at the best time.
He hasn't thrown for 240 yards in a game yet. Hasn't had to.
No,
apparently.
Levis was 262 last night. I like that kid a lot, man.
My big takeaway from that was very impressed by Levis, and that I thought Derrick Henry had lost maybe an eighth of a step.
Yeah,
because there were so many plays that he was a beat that he normally gets through, and somebody would just clip his foot.
Yeah,
that it were touchdowns that weren't in this game, and that was another part that was maddening.
Yeah, that's true, but that was going to happen with him.
Yeah.
But if you're Tennessee
good.
though, like this is a game. If you stumbled into this kid, and I'm not suggesting that he's crazy, like
sure
elite, but if he can be a middle to upper tier NFL guy, if he can be somewhere between the 8th and 16th best quarterback, you can build around it
for sure.
That's Cousins, like that type of level. Like he's got I'm not comparing them as passers. I'm just saying like that level of quarterback play allows for them to build right now around it.
Well, especially the way they run the ball, and then you can take play action shots.
Yeah.
That they're going to be able to do that. One thing that I will say in terms of praise for the Steelers, that Jalen Warren kid is electric.
Yes, he is.
And he does not get tackled. The first person does not tackle him. I mean, his touchdown run should have been a 5-yard loss, and he spun off of it and ends up going to the house, which was incredible.
And so you could have the same conversation we just had at quarterback, and you can do it with the Steelers running back room.
Oh, yeah.
Because they draft Najee in the first round.
This guy's better.
The other guy's better. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the way right away with Dallas with Zeke, but towards the end with Pollard and Zeke.
Najee looked better last night, I thought.
I still think he's really solid.
But Warren is.
Yeah, and if you're drafting – the problem is if you're drafting a running back in the first round, which you should never do, but if you are, then they got to be electric. And that's not what Najee is. He's very solid. He's great in the pickup, blitz pickup, pass game, all that stuff. He can take a beating.
Yep.
But he's not – but didn't they draft him when they were trying to get the last drops out of Ben?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of that thing.
His rookie year, he was catching like 38 2-yard passes a game.
Just getting crushed.
And getting
stand there, just get hit in the back.
Annihilated.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's the first Thursday night game that I guess I've watched where I cared about the outcome.
Probably the first one that's been competitive in a minute, too. Usually they're...
Yeah, last week's ended up competitive, but wasn't.
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't know if it's working with Herbie. I don't know if it's his age. I don't know if it's the money. Al's just lost his joy. Like, it's a pretty flat line call
I just think
for the entire game. And that was a game with tension and passion in the crowd. And how about Renegade plays? It's going nuts, and then Levis drills like a 30-yarder up the left sideline right from his own 5.
They got him backed up. Herbie's saying it's the loudest this place has been, and it's been great all night.
You're thinking that's going to be a sack strip, fumble, touchdown.
Of course.
Or a pick six.
Yeah. Levis hits the dart on the sideline.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Wow. That was the play right there where I went, they got one here.
Yeah.
You make that throw in those circumstances.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think for Al, I'm sure it was a Godfather offer from Amazon. Like, made him an offer he couldn't refuse. He's got generational wealth, but like that's generational. I mean, who knows what he's making? He might be making $25 million a year doing
it's that
this.
Flight to the East Coast. He hates coming east.
Yeah, and he's doing Thursday night, and it's at least he got Steelers. He usually gets pretty revved up to do Steelers games. Like those are games he cares about, but he was pretty
muted.
Yeah, he certainly was. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those things where like it's been a run. And I think you're used to being the games that he's used to calling. And even when he had a good one last night, just like happened to him in the playoff game last year. Or was that him and Dungy, right?
Him and Dungy.
That was a real problem. That was real dicey. Yeah. He's my guy, but it's tough. It's not good.
And I would say that the opposite has happened. And I've obviously, when they were Manning casts, I watched them. But if not, I think that the compensation and the big deal that Troy Aikman just landed, and I think he's doing some of his best work.
I think it's freed him. You saw that the last year he was with Fox.
Yeah.
Remember, he was started to like, I think whether he knew a change was coming or whatever, but like he was, or maybe it was Romo. Maybe it was a Romo effect. It was like, I'm not going to have this guy who's, in his mind at least, is a lesser quarterback than me.
Well,
I'm not going to have this.
In all ways, shape, and form.
We did the Aikman thing. It's not great. as a player think it's not great.
Someone's in the Hoff.
No, for sure. It's for sure. And I'm not suggesting Romo should be in the Hoff.
No,
I'm just
Romo's
saying, like,
very good though. Gibbe just hates him.
Aikman was.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot there from a statistical accumulation standpoint. I mean, he's a quarterback of 3 Super Bowl teams, and that's the trump card.
Yes.
But it's not his. I guess what I'm saying is he's not a whole lot different than Eli Manning. Know what I mean?
And I would argue that
Yeah.
Eli Manning, statistically relative to his peers, was better.
My hunch is he was, because we did the
Yes.
Aikman breakdown, and it wasn't there.
Yes.
So he doesn't even have like the All Pros. He doesn't have Pro Bowls. Like,
No.
But he won. He was
But
the quarterback of the 3
you're
Super Bowl
right.
teams.
Like he's like,
He's letting it live.
I got to do Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Like ESPN has said, we're asking you to do one thing a week. That's it. Your
And he's having fun with
obligation
these.
is
He
one
has
day.
fun. They have
Yeah.
fun in the pregame with Van Pelt.
Well, and I think that Buck is having the time of his life
Buck's
too.
having time of his life.
You know, he's got his wife working on the pregame
So
show. Like, it's
Aikman,
crazy.
that's unbelievable.
It's wild.
Great job by him. The buys. 6-time Pro Bowl, no time first team All Pro for Aikman.
6 Pro Bowls though. That's pretty good because it mattered then too.
It did, but here, can I interest you? Okay, his first year he makes the Pro Bowl is 1991. They go 7-5. He completes 65% of his passes, 11 touchdowns, 10 picks,
Yeah.
and averages 229 yards a game. Next year's Pro Bowler again, 64%, 3,445 yards, 23 touchdowns, 14 picks, averages 215 a game, quarterback rating 89. The next year's his best year. He is 69% completions, 3,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks, rating of 99, which is a career high for him. He then goes, this is another Pro Bowl season here, 64%. This is in 14 games, 64%, 2,676, 13 touchdowns, 12 picks, averaging 190 yards a game. Makes the Pro Bowl with that season.
Yep.
He makes the Pro Bowl in 1996, completing 63% of his passes, 12 touchdowns, 13 picks, and had a quarterback rating of 80. That's just,
And yet-
that's by association.
That's 3 Super Bowls.
Still better than Romo.
And honestly, like
That is not better than
the
Romo.
Eli numbers aren't great.
He had a few good
Eli
years.
made 4 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
But his highest quarterback rating. I mean, these two are probably. He had more yards and more touchdowns and
Sure.
all of that. But
That's
some of that's
different.
a product of the era. But just from a rating standpoint, Eli's highest is a 93.6. Is his highest rating. Some of Eli's early seasons were just dreadful. Completion percentage in 05, for example, 52.8.
Yeah, he was rough early.
57.7, 56.1. All those teams were winning teams. 60.3 in 2008. That's the completion percentage. His highest completion percentage as a pro was in his second to last year. He was 66. But it was routinely in the 50s. He had a season in 2013 where he threw 27 interceptions to 18 touchdowns.
Wow.
But he's got those 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots.
That's right.
And he was great in those 2 moments.
Romo had, from 2006 to 2014, never had a quarterback rating below 90. He had 2 in the 100s. He was above 95 7 times. In 2014, 70%, 3,705 yards, 34 touchdowns, 9 picks, led the league in yards per attempt, completion percentage, touchdown percentage, rating, and QBR, had 113.2 rating. Romo's really good. 248 touchdowns, 117 picks, 65% completion, career rating of 97.1.
His
Romo
year
was
that
really
the
good.
year that D'Amico was it no who's the running DeMarco Murray when he was the running that was their year. Like if there was a year for them to come out of the NFC, that's the year they lost.
No, 14 was the year they lose in Seattle on the Dez catch, right?
They lost one in Green Bay.
Or in Green Bay, yeah, Green Bay.
Was
Green
that
Bay.
14?
Yeah, and then Green Bay goes to Seattle, and there's the onside kick. Green Bay wins because of that onside kick.
Is that
at the
the one?
end.
Is
I
that the one?
remember that.
Yeah, Seattle muffed the onside kick.
It's all right. Romo still couldn't win when it mattered.
No, I mean it's an albatross. He can't get rid of it. Yeah, but like they had a couple of seasons in there where it felt like maybe they could be
They
a team.
had the supporting cast. They had everything
they had
needed.
that Dez team, that team with Dez and DeMarco. That was a squad.
Well, in 2014 in the playoffs, he goes 68% completions in only 2 games, 484 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Should have been 5 touchdowns and a quarterback rating of 125.7.
It's one of those things where it's hung around you, whether you the way you remember it
Whether it's
doesn't
justified or not.
He threw a pick at the end of the game inside the red zone in a playoff game at one point.
He dropped the snap,
The snap
on the field goal that would have won it against Seattle.
Yeah. So there were those things. But that's that thin margin that's there in the sport. And you watch last night and you think about how difficult, we know as good as anybody, how hard it is to land the plane at quarterback.
Yes. I want to say, this is what I'm about to say is going to shock you. So Aikman retires in the year 2000. In the year 2000.
Yep.
61%, 165 touchdowns, 141 picks, career rating of 81.6.
Jeez.
And is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And again, it's because obviously what those teams did, but his numbers are actually even by comparison even less impressive. And this is going to pain me to do what I'm about to do.
You're going to do Young?
Yes.
Because it's the same era. So
Yeah,
now
it is.
we're
It's apples for apples.
It is because Young hangs him up in 1999.
Yeah.
Steve Young, 64%, 232 touchdowns, 107 picks, quarterback rating of 96.8. And Young is a 7-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time MVP, as well as a Super Bowl MVP and 1 Super Bowl champion. He gets credit for 3. Thank you, Joe. But that's apples to apples. Like the years when Aikman's making a Pro Bowl with like 12 touchdowns and 11 picks and 180 yards a game in the same season that Steve Young goes 70%. Steve Young leads league in completion percentage 5 out of 6 years, leads league in touchdowns 3 straight years. He goes 70%, 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 picks, and a rating of 112. He had a quarterback rating of 100 plus 4 straight years. Like,
he's how I remember him.
but that's
how I remember him.
But that's a Hall of Famer. That's apples to apple. Like
yes.
There's
Those two aren't close.
if his name
And yet
wasn't
I think-
Troy Aikman and he played, it's
Put him on another team.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah. If he were the quarterback of the Washington Redskins and he just had the 1 Super Bowl in the 90s, nothing.
No way.
But it was America's team, and they had all those great games. He was good on the big stage. It seemed like, at least in my head, he was. In the
I
Super
feel that
Bowl.
way. Yeah, let's see.
But
let's see his
feels like
playoffs.
he was good in the postseason. It feels like he was good in the Super Bowls. But I never, as a kid in that era, like I never thought Young was. I always thought Young was clearly the better player.
So his first playoff run, 1992, Troy Aikman, 69%, 795 yards, 8 touchdowns, no picks, and a rating of 126. So that year was really, really good. His career in the playoffs, 11-4 as a starter, 63%, 23 touchdowns, 17 picks, rating of 88. So,
Yeah.
and in his last 3 years, 2 touchdowns, 8 picks in 96, 98, 99, 1-3 in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, that's the way it goes. B. Lynch up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, Coach. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. Joined in studio by one of our favorites, cornerbacks coach Brandon Lynch, joining us in studio. I guess we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but just an update on Greg. We know he's out this week. How's he progressing, and what are you seeing out of him as he battles with the injury?
Absolute resilience, really good teammate. I know that with his buddy, getting a start this week, I know that he's really been making sure that Cam is prepped, he's ready, holding everybody accountable to our toughness, our effort, our passion. It's been fun to see.
Yeah.
What a treat to have you in the studio. This is an absolute treat. Great coach. Elite human being.
On a short list of elite humans who there are like 5 or 6 people when they walk by the studio, we get really excited.
Yeah, we love it.
You're on that list. Yeah,
stand up, hugs
right.
through the glass.
That's true.
Of course, the great B. Lynch. All right, your guys balling out there. This defense, I'm sure you're having a lot of fun with it, and for you, the opportunity to really hone in. And I know you've been with the Corners before, but now you are the guy in that room. What's that been like for you and the bond that you have with your guys?
Sure, it's been a huge blessing, and I think that bonding with all of the defensive players, from the engine, all of the defensive linemen that are doing a great job for us, all of the linebackers that are keeping everybody chill, and the safeties and the corners, man, they've been fantastic. They're great students. They're really, really good players, but they're even better young men. I think that anytime that you're a teacher and you have students that they want to be in the room, they want to do things for the team, I think that really energizes you.
Bunch of different styles in that room, a bunch of different body types in that room, a bunch of different personalities in that room. Is there one common thread that they all have, or is there a common thread that you like most in the position?
Toughness.
Yeah.
Toughness. Always start with toughness. I think that, the toughness in that room, I think that that's something that we see on display. We talk about being the tip of the spear, but the toughness to do things correct every single day, even when it's uncomfortable. We talk about handling our job in superior manner, but that takes toughness. That takes resilience. And everything that we embody as a team, it really starts with that.
I love this guy. What I want people to understand, I was going to save this for the end, but because just hearing you talk, you are so motivational. Whatever we run into, you're all smile on your face. You're the happiest guy. What people need to know, though, is sideline, game day, B. Lynch is a whole different animal. This guy is ready to go through walls. He gets the guys going through walls. I'm like, whoa, it is fun to watch. But how do you I know you played, and so you have that still. I know you are such a competitor. How do you flip that switch, though? And is it even something that you're doing, or is it just all of a sudden everybody's like, man, B. Lynch is ready?
The responsibility. I think that when we
look at the calmest answer to that question, I love it.
But the responsibility for us all. I think that we have a really good opportunity with our ownership, all of you guys, right? To the players, they're doing things correctly. So giving them our best, I think, is extremely important, especially for myself as a teacher. So when we look at the toughness, the effort, the passion, if we're not having those things as teachers, it's hard to ask our students to do it. So really, just giving the guys what they deserve.
Oh, you got that passion. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
And this defensive staff has that.
Totally.
That it all fits well together. You guys, and by the way, so too do these position groups. And I think we were talking off air about camp and everything that was forged then. Was there a moment in camp when you guys as a staff looked around, and we're not crowning anything yet, we're not even halfway through the season, but we're on the way to being a very special defense. Was there a time when you said, all right, we've got the things that are required now. We've got all the tools we need to be special?
I would think, obviously that's something that's still in progress.
Yeah.
And, obviously, like you said, we're not even at the half point, guys are going. But I think that it's really led up by Coach Schwartz. I think the consistency of the message of, we're here to really execute our roles in superior fashion. When we talk about the toughness, the effort, the passion, it starts with him.
Yeah.
And that's something that the nerve center, the engine, us being the tip of the spear, I think that type of consistent message and seeing our guys buy in, I think that's really a good start.
He's empowered, it feels like, not only the players but the coaches to be their best selves and express themselves however they want. Now, you've known him for quite some time, and if you're comfortable sharing, I know you had an original impression of, he's grinning ear to ear, of Jim Schwartz. How do you regard Jim Schwartz, and even from your early impressions?
The very first time that I met Coach Schwartz, I really thought that he was the Fonz. Like he comes
like
in.
peak Fonz, obviously.
Yes. He has like a leather jacket on, glasses, takes his glasses off. And honestly, the same thing that our players are feeling from him, I felt the same way back in, 2004. He's a guy that really intentionally cares about the player's success. And I think that that's something that, you can't fake that. And guys know when you are. So authentically, the way that he pushes us as coaches, as he pushes the students, it's really to help everybody succeed. So it's really cool to see that. He has not changed in that way.
He's still got a lot of swagger. So he's out there in a red velvet blazer on one of the trips. He's got it all.
The word that you use there, though, that I think is so critical when you're at the level you guys are at is authentic.
Yes.
You got to be you, man. These guys see through it more than ever. So anytime we get anybody on the defensive staff in, they are authentically themselves. And when you're that's when you have a chance for success. You can see it, and you see it with the way it bleeds into our players. Your personality bleeds into your players and your position groups. You see it at every level. You really do. It's all there, and I think it's critical to what's been accomplished already and what can be accomplished going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It's all there.
All right, I want to talk to you about MJ. 2 picks. I thought, you watch him and you go through the numbers, and he's got, the lowest completion percentage allowed in the league, second or third lowest rating when targeted in coverage. The way that he has blossomed, and I want to share a quick little story with you. So you know this very well, but people may not, and we broke it down on this week's X's and Joes, or X's and No Joes, it turns out, if you watch the program this week. 3 plays prior to his interception, they came out in the same look, same split basically for DK Metcalf. He ran the speed out. It was open on that one. Geno threw it a little short. They come back to it. Same split, same stem. And MJ said, I knew. I was like, all right, I'm going to go get this. And he went and got it. When you see a guy in his second year and you're smiling already, but have that kind of wherewithal. And then on the flip side, he also told me, I said, well, what happened on the one where he got you deep? He said, I was in the wrong position. I needed to be off a little more. I was too far outside. I needed to be inside. I didn't get any contact with him. And he said, I know I got to fix that and clean that up. But when you have a guy who's playing at a high level, also thinking his way through the game at a high level, given his gifts, and you see what he's doing, how gratifying is that for you to see just his development to, I think he's a premier corner. You and I have had this discussion many times. I think he's an elite cornerback.
Attention to detail comes to mind. He's a young guy that he's definitely puts the team first, but his attention to detail is it's next to none. We talk a lot about communication first, and he's a young guy he really embodies those things. So communicate first, and then execute. And when you see a guy that has these rare talents, these rare skills, but he's a better student, better person, that's what you see on the tape.
He's a competitor.
Yes, he is.
Well, and your guys, they're competitive with each other as a group. I mean, we see that all the time. He's
getting a Merce from Greg. That's what he won, a satchel.
Is that what he get?
He's got Merce. I dropped a Merce on him. He'd never heard that before. I said, what is that, a man purse? And he's like, oh, yeah, I got to get one of those.
That's what he's getting?
Yeah,
that's
what
very
he's getting
good.
from Greg. Yeah.
But to have young guys, what Z just said there and what you're so excited about is, that's being a pro, right? So you got guys in your room who are pros, who are young and talented, feeding off each other. From a personality trait, was there anything that they all, you mentioned the toughness, but is there something that they all share in that regard?
Smarts.
Yeah.
Smarts. I think that every year we go to the combine, we're looking at football instincts. We're looking at guys that, can perform in our systems. And I know the very first thing that we're looking at is smart football players. So that really stood out, from his draft stock. That really stands out from him being in the building. And then the resilience to be accountable to it every single day. I think that that's something that really separates him.
We've gone a little ways without even mentioning Denzel Ward, who I think is having a phenomenal season. He has a pick leading the team in passes defense so far this season. And it feels like he has kind of even embraced this kind of new personality and the swagger and the toughness that you're seeing on this defense. What's it been like with Denzel and how his season's got off to the start that it has?
Great player. Small story. When we're in camp and we're picking captains, right? I get goosebumps like talking to them about it. I'm getting goosebumps now like talking to you guys about it. And we're talking about like who do we want to represent our group? And unanimously, everybody in the room pointed at him. And I think that really speaks to who he is as a person, competitor, but how he works. When one of your best players is one of the hardest workers in the room, when he's one that can take criticism and can grow from it in the room, not only does that help him, but as a leader, that also helps everybody else in the room the right to do the same thing. And that's what we're seeing from him this year.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. A couple of young guys. You mentioned Cam, Greg out. Cam's going to get that work in the slot. We'll start with him. It feels like, we'll work on the hands, but other than that, he's in the right place all the time. And it feels like he's another one of those guys. Very smart, understands, obviously, teammate at Northwestern of Greg. But how have you seen him for a guy who's a fifth-round pick who's going to be thrust into an important spot here again as he was last week?
Trajectory upward. Like ever since that young guy has gotten the building, everything has been upward for him, in all areas of it, from football to outside, the way that, he handles his daily routine as a pro, the way that he takes correction, the way that he applies it has been really fun to see. But as a young player being out there, he's really accountable to the team. Like it's important to him.
Mm-hmm. He's earned that respect. You shared a story with us before, but he's clearly earned the respect of his peers, which is an important thing. We may see Khalif Halassi. It sounds like with Greg out, it makes sense he would be active this week. He's a guy you liked in the pre-draft process. Long, fast, man corner. What has he shown kind of coming in here and learning our techniques and learning the way that we go about our business?
Natural traits, and always starting to start. He's a very smart, aware football player.
Yeah.
And when you look at the toughness of this young guy, like the toughness allows him to use those traits, because we're going to look at press first.
Yep.
But with the speed, the length, the athleticism, he has ball skills, and then he has the courage. He has the toughness to get his head around to attack the ball, and really excited about that.
It's going to be fun.
Oh man,
what a treat!
This is a treat.
Good to see you, man.
You just have
studio.
like,
That's awesome. I feel better.
I feel better too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ready.
I'm
is
ready
it
to go.
Sunday?
I'm just
The
ready
next
to
level
attack
is
life.
next.
That's it. Show's over.
Yeah, show's over.
Good talking to you, Coach.
Yes.
Hey,
Thanks
God
for
bless
stopping
you
by.
guys, man.
B. Lynch stopping by in studio. We've got scores. We've got behind enemy lines. We've got over-unders. We've got keys to victory. It's all coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. For nearly a century, the Rumpke family has operated one of the nation's largest waste and recycling companies, providing top-level services to residential and commercial customers. That's Rumpke Waste and Recycling. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. Do we want to do over-unders first or keys first, Gibby? How would you like us to handle this?
I would say let's get our over-unders in, and
then we'll do keys?
yeah. We
All
could
right,
do
we got
over-unders and weather. We could also push keys to right before the scores.
I hate cheating the scores. I'd rather
Yeah, but
cheat
we
all
got
the
a
rest
lot of bye
this.
weeks.
We can't cheat the scores.
But we got a lot of bye weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We
There's
do
two.
have. No,
There's 4 games. 2 games off.
Yeah, 2 games off. All right.
It's a lot.
Over-under. Last week, Z pulled ahead of Gibbe
That's right.
by 1 game. This week,
So you teased me when you were like, hey, you had a good
Gibby
week.
fought back
Oh.
and is now leading the over-unders.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. You were 1 game better than him.
Yes.
You went, and he was. You were 2 and 3 last week. He was 4 and 1. Gibby went 4 and 1.
I believe the world
last
is
week
back up and running the
on
way it should be.
That's right. Good.
Scores.
It's more fun beating you when you think you have a lead.
Yeah, so that's the way that went. You are Gibbe is 19 and 11 overall. Dr. Z is 18 and 12. So that's where you stand.
Not bad.
Not bad. You're doing great. Everybody's winning.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. This is a tough one because this Arizona team sucks. So most of these are us versus us. Because I don't know who's going to play for them. I don't know who's going to run it. I don't know who the quarterback is.
Their coach
who
was
they're throwing
like, we
to.
might decide on the plane ride there
Right.
later
It's
on
just-
today.
this
We
is a-
might
come
decide
on.
tomorrow.
This is bad ball. You're going to see bad ball out of Arizona.
They're flying
Hey.
here today.
Yeah. Hey, Gannon, come on. You went to Ignatius. Be better than this.
That is also good job.
Come on.
And also strange that they would fly today.
Why are they flying today?
Can't be more than a 3-hour flight, 2.5-hour flight on a
No,
3?
Yeah, probably 3.
3 on the
Sometimes,
straight
like, some teams like to come east a day early. I think the 49ers
going
did.
west
The 49ers were here all weekend.
Were they?
Yeah.
That's further though.
I don't
All right,
know.
here we go. We'll start with you, Gibby, since you won. We're looking for a
I'm right.
completion percentage from Deshaun Watson. The number this week is 60.5. 60.5. Gibby, over or under?
Over. That team is trash we're playing.
They're giving up 71% completion on the year to opposing quarterbacks over as well.
I didn't need a thesis to tell me that.
He
Over.
only has been over once.
That's right.
This year.
The last
That
time we
number.
saw him in a full
the
game.
last time we saw him. So it's been a minute. Next.
Over, under.
All right, looking for a total yardage over-under. So, Zagura, you can have Jerome Ford's total yards over or under Strong and Hunt combined total yards.
Under.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm going to follow in Mr. Zagura's footsteps on that one.
all right. Under.
No chance to come back.
Next.
Over, under.
You know, it'd be amazing. Be amazing if you just picked the same as him the rest of the year, and then essentially you, because there are going to be some no-brainers, you would force him to make bad decisions on
Just
the
to
ones
gain
just to be
ground?
opposite.
Well, you should
on
have
the
done
ones
that-
he went first, you would have to go.
He could have done this in like week 16 of a couple
years
I
ago.
ago.
won't
we had
do
it.
it. I
You had
won't
the
do
layup.
it.
You had
I'm
the
winning.
layup.
I'm winning the way I need to win.
The integrity play is a big one
Yeah.
for Gibby. We're looking for the chief total targets in this game. The number we're looking for is 7.5. So he's been over the last 2 weeks, never been over with Deshaun. 7.5.
I'm going to say under, but he's probably going to be right around 7.
Yeah, I think he'll be under.
Under?
I don't think we're going to have to throw it a ton.
All right. Next.
Nice quick
Over,
game.
under.
Be done at 4:05. I'm in.
Hope so.
I'm
That'd be
in.
great.
I'd
No
like that.
drama.
I'd like that.
Just cruise.
Just cruise.
No drama.
Nothing to see here. We don't need it. Sacks, interceptions, and fumbles. Dr. Z, you both missed it last week.
Shocker.
This week the number is 4.5.
Over. Clean tune. Come on.
4.5. Sacks, interceptions, fumbles. Gibby.
I think they have it before halftime.
Oh my God. What would have been a number that would have made you guys think? 6.5?
5.5.
5.5 would have been tough. All right, both went over. All right. So
Like
you guys
3
are
sacks.
same
I would have
all the
said
way
6.
through.
3 sacks, 2 turnovers.
Next.
6.5 I would have gone
Over,
under.
under.
7's an outrageous number.
Yeah. The actual, and this is for you, Gibby, is 37.5.
I think I'm going to go under. Follow me. Follow me to freedom, Zagura.
That's why I wanted you to say over. 'Cause
No.
I was going to go under.
Nah.
A no blood week could be a no blood.
I don't
week
know.
out of you guys.
Segura's
No, I have
he
to. You
thrives on
gotta-
positivity.
I
He's
have
going to go
do
over
it.
here.
I have to. Hold on.
But then we got it. The thing is, they're not going to score. So
I
if
think
it's
they're
going
gonna
over
score.
37.5, you got to beat them 38-0. Like it's just not. I think the number's way too high.
So they've gone
Doesn't
over.
this scream like 20-3?
So they've gone. I think it screams like 30-0. So they've gone over week. What is it? 37.
37.5.
All right. Under week 1, over week 2, over week 3, over week 4, over week 5, under week 6, under week 7, over week 8.
Ooh, 4 times. 4?
But they have gone under 3 out of 4 on the road. I'm just going to say over because we got to have one difference. Otherwise, what's the point of playing?
Perfect.
It's a wild number. I think it's too high.
Agreed. I wanted to take the under.
Yeah. All right. There you go. All right.
I think
Well,
we're for this to happen. I think we need to score 30, and maybe it's 30-7. They get
That doesn't do it.
it's 37.5.
yeah.
So we need to score 31.
Yeah. It's hard to get there.
Who knows? Like
4
that?
tutties,
35-7 does it.
4 tutties and a field and
Yeah.
a D hop.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know. I wanted to go under, but I mean, what's the we can't have 5
You
of
can't
the
have
same.
5 the same.
No.
Yeah.
Is there any of
It's
your
a
other ones
tricky
you want
one.
to switch? Gibbe?
It's a very tricky one because I don't know what they are. I mean, I know what they are, but I don't know
Who they
you
are.
can't do like their whole running back room. I guess you could have like their whole running back room against just Jerome Ford. But
No, this is it's
It's
now
just a
this whole thing
crud
just
game.
comes down to the score of the game. There's not
Look,
even any fun in it.
It's just it's one of those weeks where there's nothing worth talking about with them. So we'll just get through it. We're going to have differences, I'm sure, coming up over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
yeah.
going to be a lot going on there.
Sorry.
All right, there you go. Your Friday forecast.
Let's just score 70.
Yeah, your Friday forecast
It's doable.
is presented by Carrier. Carrier, turn to the experts. High of 54, partly sunny in Cleveland on Sunday. Is that locked in? Is there anything crazy around it? Because I remember there was one earlier this season where it wasn't supposed to
earlier
rain.
this
You mean
week,
week
it was
one?
supposed to rain on Sunday.
Earlier this week, it was supposed to rain on Sunday. That's right.
I still think there's a chance that it could. There could be a shower in the morning.
What I'm going to tell you what, like this weather forecast has just yesterday, I looked at it, and next week was like all the 40s. Now all of a sudden I'm
No.
seeing a 64 on Monday.
Yeah.
We got 50s through much of the week. More rain, of course, which is just great. Yeah, but it's not much this weekend. 61, we're going to get all the way to near 61 today, then 54, 56 the next couple of days. So that's a perfect opportunity there.
For November, you take that. You relish every moment of that.
I think this is what we deserve this.
We deserve it.
This time of year.
Yeah.
Low 50s.
Yeah.
Like,
At some
we
point,
didn't-
the sun is going to go away for 3 months.
Yeah, that's coming.
I mean, when we fall back and it's dark at 5 o'clock.
Is that this
starting
weekend?
Sunday. Yeah.
Enough with it.
That's this weekend, kids.
Enough with fallback. It's
I think-
enough.
All I wanted those bozos in Congress to do, that's all I wanted the government
That's
to
it.
do, was lock that up. And didn't Rubio have one? Didn't he write one that they were getting rid of it?
I thought so.
Or making it permanent? I guess you make it permanent. You make daylight savings time permanent is what you do. And then because we're living in daylight savings time now.
Yes.
So you make it permanent. The idea that you're going to take what sunlight you have and put it into the morning versus the evening, I don't understand it. And
Who gets to have fun in the morning? You have fun in the evening, the afternoon.
Yeah, so
Think about
it'll
when
be
we're
dark at
going
4:30.
And even when we're going, think about when we're going out to Cali. That's as far west as you can be, but it's going to affect when the sun goes down out there.
Sure.
Ugh.
Several states don't have it.
Arizona.
Arizona doesn't do it.
Probably
Does
New
Indiana
Mexico.
not do it?
I feel like Indy might not.
What about New Mexico?
I don't know. New Mexico has a lot of attributes for me.
No, it's
I'm starting to think that could be a really good spot.
Yeah,
out there.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's enough though. But I think that's one thing that everybody wants. Make it so.
Darkness at
We
5
can all agree on
o'clock
it.
is
I'm
depressing.
fine in the
damn
morning.
depressing.
It's
I got a
depressing.
little flashlight in my backyard
I'm fine.
because I let the dogs out, making
Same.
sure there's
Who
no,
let the dogs out?
Yeah.
Who?
But like,
I don't
okay,
mind it. It's fine.
It's light by 7:45.
Fine. Right.
Okay,
this morning,
fine.
I was walking Buddy like 7:40. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Sun's coming up. It's fine. No big deal. I don't need that at 6:45.
No, I need a daylight at 6:30 still.
Come on.
Yes.
I thought this was happening. I thought last year was
No.
the last one.
This
Nope.
is not hard. It's not hard.
Who's holding it up?
Don't they always say agriculture? Farming?
Probably. Something about kids at the bus stop in the dark or something. I don't know.
Well, they've been in the dark for the last month.
It's not farming though, but farming might have been why it was created, so there was more sunlight in the summer so they could work longer. That would make sense. But also just say, hey, this is kind of nice. Let's just stay here.
Yeah. Come on in. The water's warm. Like,
We're going to ask Howard Balzer about this. He joins us coming up next. What's it like living in a state that's forward-thinking? One of the few that does it. And we'll also get some perspective on the Cardinals. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. OBM, the preferred provider of copiers and document services for the Cleveland Browns. They can tackle any size office. Call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. We head behind enemy lines. Cardinals and NFL reporter Howard Balzer joining us on the Twisted Tea hotline. Howard, thank you so much for taking the time. We were having the conversation. So you guys don't have no daylight savings time out there, right?
That is correct. There's no daylight savings time. So
genius.
When Sunday rolls around, that's the biggest thing you have to get used to, because when you're thinking about, I mean, we always know what time it is here.
Sure.
But whenever you're asked to do a radio interview, you always, all of a sudden you have to adjust it all, because it's right now it's a 3-hour time difference from Eastern. And on Sunday, it'll be a 2-hour. And, of course, my wife and I have a lot of family in the central time zone, so we always have to okay, now it's only an hour difference instead of 2. So that's one of the biggest adjustments you have to make when you move to Arizona.
Well, I think we got to make the adjustment to you. So you guys, you stay in daylight savings time, right? You have the longer days. That's the operation.
Yeah.
And technically, we're considered Mountain Standard Time all the time. That's it. So essentially, that's what it is. But I always refer to it as Arizona time, so everyone, is totally clear on it. But yes, we don't change the clocks, and
beautiful.
That's
smart.
That's just the way they roll here.
And then we can play a nice afternoon round of golf out in Scottsdale.
Everybody wins.
Everybody's winning. Nobody's having a hard time.
Love it.
Howard, we know what the time is going to be in Arizona. We don't know who is playing for the Arizona Cardinals. What can you tell us about the quarterback, running back, wide receiver? All of it feels like there's a lot up in the air.
Oh, there is a lot up in the air, and just we just watched the open portion of the practice for the Cardinals today, and it's been pretty much like it has been all week with all this debate. Obviously, is it going to be Kyler Murray? Is it going to be Clayton Tune? And for the for the sixth straight practice for Murray, it's basically been in those first minutes in the individual drills, just throwing the football to practice squad guys. That's the only ones he's thrown to. Now, of course, we don't know what goes on during the regular part of practice, and all indications are he has had reps with the ones and all those things. But it does seem, and the sense is that it will be Clayton Tune, the rookie fifth-round pick, getting the start on Sunday. But we really won't know officially until 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, 1 o'clock Pacific, whether Kyler Murray is activated from the physically unable to perform list. And so he'll be on the injury report today. I suspect he'll be listed as either doubtful or questionable. But for him to be active, obviously, he has to come off that reserve list. And the sense, I just don't think that's going to happen this week. With trading Joshua Dobbs, they brought back Jeff Driscoll, who'd been with the team in training camp in the offseason and in the practice squad, was released from the practice squad when Murray returned to practice, but was brought back this week. And I have a feeling he'll either be signed to the roster or elevated off the practice squad to be the backup to Clayton Tune on Sunday. Now, that could change. Who knows? I might be totally wrong. But that's the sense that everybody has with the way it's going to be. And then at running back and receiver, Michael Wilson, a rookie third-round pick who's had a nice start to his career, hasn't practiced this week because of a shoulder injury. Undrafted rookie Amari DiMercato, who'd been the starter at running back the last couple of weeks with James Conner on injury reserve. He's eligible to return, by the way, next week. He has a toe injury. He has not practiced. And so it's probably going to be Keontae Ingram at running back as the starter. I think we're going to see wide receiver Rondale Moore used even more than he has in the beginning of the season as a runner, and they've done that from time to time. And I think we'll see Clayton Tune with some design runs, if he plays and all that. But yeah, their receiver core is compromised. Their running back core is compromised. It's hard to imagine how they're going to put up any kind of consistent offense against this Browns defense.
Howard, when you talk about the quarterback situation with Kyler, because it feels like he doesn't have an injury designation or at least is participating fully, do you think it is they're being very cautious with him? Do you think the fact that it's in Cleveland against the number one defense in the NFL and Myles Garrett and all of that, is that playing a role in perhaps waiting maybe to give him a first start at home against Atlanta the following week?
It could be the first part of it. The whole practice designation had everybody running in circles last week.
Yep.
Because he was designated as full on Wednesday, and then there was nothing put in on Thursday and Friday. Well, I got a clarification from the league, and for players on reserve, once you make that designation on Wednesday, you don't have to write anything in the next couple of days as long as nothing has changed.
Right.
So and so the other part of it is practicing fully when you're on reserve is different than practicing fully when you're on the injury report as a guy on the roster, where they define it as 100% of the normal reps. When you're on reserve, it's just full of what the team has asked you to do. And from everything we've seen, he's doing everything the team has asked him to do. So on that point. Now, to the other point, that could be part of it. I asked Jonathan Gannon this morning. I said, does the fact that this team has had a certain amount of RPOs in the offense, design runs in the first 8 games with Joshua Dobbs. And so you have to believe that's going to be a part of the offense this week. And so I asked, does that in any way impact when Kyler Murray comes back to play in terms of that, feeling totally comfortable that he's healthy and all those things to be a runner and have design runs? And Jonathan Gannon said it does. And so I think that could be a part of it. Of course, that, they're going to have that in every game. And the Falcons defense that they play next week isn't a bad defense by any stretch of the imagination. And Gannon was asked earlier in the week if, the Cleveland defense has any impact on who the quarterback is. And he says, no, we don't worry about that stuff. We just worry about our stuff. Well, you can make the argument, too, why put a rookie out there when you have the situation that they have. But, they certainly want to get a look at him, how he operates and all that. But I think the biggest thing with Kyler Murray is just getting him fully knowing, doing all the things that he hadn't done since December 12th of last year, and operating the offense, being comfortable with it. It's his first year. This is a new offensive system that he hasn't played in. They're going under center a lot more with direct snaps, which he hadn't done a whole lot of in his first 4 seasons. So I think it's just being totally comfortable with all of those things is what's determining when he will get out there and play for the first time.
Howard, big picture-wise, because it's obviously been a struggle and you've gone through the injuries, and I think everybody knew this was going to be a bit of a struggle for Arizona this year. What does the fan base want out of this season? What do they want out of Kyler Murray? Are they hoping that, man, let's pick twice, 2 first-round picks and one of them be a quarterback? Where's the fan base sit with this franchise right now?
The fan base is very mixed, totally. Certainly they understand where this team is. They realize, like you said, this was going to be a rough go. And so, you get frustrated on game day because they've been in a lot of games and then it falls apart. The offense isn't consistent or whatever it might be. And you say, boy, we could have won that game. It's possible that they could have won. But in the big picture, they understand.
Yeah.
But it's very mixed in terms of, because there's a Kyler Murray camp and there's a not like Kyler Murray camp. And there's some who say, hey, yeah, just move on, get what you can for him in a trade and pick a young quarterback. There's others who say, hey, Kyler Murray's going to get out there at some point and play, and that if he shows this team that he can operate this offense and can stay healthy, then you can look at it and say, hey, with those high picks, you can engineer a trade for some other team that wants a quarterback and get another, and get a big haul for picks that will help you continue building this roster. And so, like I said, there's mixed opinion on that. There's some who have never really thought that Kyler Murray should be the starter, but there's others who just love his athletic ability and feel that, he's an elite quarterback. So it's whatever happens the rest of the season, it's going to make for a very interesting offseason once it ends in a couple of months and leading up until the draft in April.
How likely is it you think that he is barring injury, obviously, but he would be the week 1 starter in 2024? And do you think him playing well makes it more or less likely that he would be traded?
Yeah, that's a great question because you can make an argument for both sides. My sense is if you listen to everything this team says, then they believe he's an elite quarterback and all those things, and they want to build around him. But then I start looking at the other side and see that the moves they made to start the season were all, they had 2 6-foot quarterbacks on the roster in training camp, Colt McCoy and David Blau, and then both were gone when the season started. Clayton Tune is about 6'4", 6'5". Dobbs is 6'4", 6'5". Jeff Driscoll's like 6'5". So I just wonder deep down if they really believe you can be competitive consistently and that style of quarterback that Kyler Murray is, and also being 5'10", is sustainable. So I'm not really sure what this team truly believes. But I do think that if they decide to trade him, it's important for him to play so they can get as much for him in a trade, because with all the money that's in his contract, you've got to have another team pick up that contract, and that always affects trades in the NFL, what a player's contract is. But that's the only way to get a lot of the dead cap money off the cap is if you trade him and someone takes that contract as opposed to just totally moving on.
Howard, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your time. We always appreciate you a great deal.
My pleasure, guys. Take care.
All right, that's Howard Balzer. It's one of the most fascinating situations because there would definitely be interest in Kyler Murray. I don't think the contract is prohibitive at all to teams taking him on. I'm looking at Atlanta. I'm thinking about Minnesota. I mean, there are teams in domes, climate controlled, that you're a guy away. You pop him into Atlanta with those weapons. You pop him into Minnesota with Jefferson and Addison.
I almost think him getting – I don't know how that turned off.
I don't either.
I almost think him playing well enhances his ability to be traded.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm
That's what
audibly when you ask that, because that's the key to it.
aha.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, play him well, and now we can trade him for something. So, and again, that comes back to this game on Sunday. Like, there's no reason to see him struggle against this defense in 55 degrees.
Agreed.
There's just no reason. So play him in climate controlled. They could come up with situations where he plays in good climate the rest of the way, and now you can intrigue an offer from a team that's a quarterback away. And there's
Absolutely.
several. The two that we just mentioned are chief among them. All right, your keys to victory to beating the Cardinals. Can I do this one? Just show up.
No. Wrong. Nobody listened to that. No. This is the National Football League. I don't
Just
care if
show
it's
up.
been no.
Come on.
Wrong.
Too easy.
No,
Easy.
Wrong.
Makes you nervous.
Do not let
They're
down.
horrible, the
do
words of
not
Bootsy.
take them for
Horrible.
granted. Yeah, they smoked the Cowboys. Like,
Show up, bury them.
act accordingly.
Act
if you
accordingly.
show up and act accordingly,
Show
fine.
up, act accordingly.
Fine. That's it. Keys to the game.
That's really it.
That is it.
It's hard. They are so. I mean, they're starting a rookie quarterback in here against that defense and that pass rush.
They're going to be starting Keontae Ingram at running back, who's averaged 2.7 yards for his career, 2.7 yards a carry.
Yeah.
They're going to be down their one receiver of any size,
Yeah.
who had been very good for them, averaging 16 yards a catch. Zach Ertz is on IR. James Conner's on IR.
Yep.
The guy who quarterbacked their first 8 games gone.
Yeah. Just show up, act accordingly. I should have had the act accordingly.
Yeah, if you do that, fine.
Then
Just
you're
show
fine.
up,
You're
roll. Just roll out your helmets. Blah blah.
No,
Not having it.
All right, we will do the scores coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Pet Supplies Plus giving you the chance to win tickets to home games all season long while providing the best deals for your pet at 75 stores throughout Ohio. Enter to win at clevelandbrowns.com/Pet Supplies Plus. Receive a coupon to use at your local store with your entry. Pet Supplies Plus is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for a little segment we like to call the Scores.
Last week,
Yep.
bounced back a little bit from that
Yeah.
nasty, mean, evil Week 7. You were 9-7 on the week.
Yep.
I was 8-8. So that puts us both at 27 games over 500 or a combined 54.
I mean, no thanks to you. You went 500.
But I was already at
We're
27.
already 27
So
ahead.
now I'm
All of that
now I'm
goodwill.
here.
I give,
All that goodwill. It's like if you deliver record profits
Right.
and the next time, the next quarter,
You maintain
I've already given you all the victories.
all the victories.
How much money do you want to swim in, Scrooge McDuck?
Right. A lot.
More.
More. We need more. Already 1-0 on the week.
Already 1-0 on the week. Good call by you. I was
That's two
hesitant.
Thursdays I feel like I've had to convince you.
Yep.
Last week,
Last
too.
week, too.
I had
but
to,
last
too.
week, once I got the information
the
about
correct information. Yeah.
then I was like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And this one, it was more your heart that was keeping you from.
And they're not good.
Doesn't matter.
They're not good.
I know.
But they did it.
That's what they do.
That is what they do.
Week 9 in the National Football League, and a very, very busy and some good, some bad Sunday coming your way. And we'll kick things off by going to Frankfurt, Germany. Das Germans.
God, I'd love to do this. If we get a Germany trip next year, will you guys bring me back to do that show with you guys, that week of shows with
What do
you
you mean
guys?
bring you back? I
just come
We're
back.
all in this together.
Just come back.
No.
I'd like to do that trip.
No.
Hope you reconsider.
I hope you reconsider. How you gonna start the score? We're gonna go 0 for the week. The karma's ruined.
14-2. 14-2. It's got. We're bringing it back.
The karma's ruined.
We don't have that many games.
We don't even
So-
have that many games.
One little quick note before we get into this regarding this game.
Yep.
Miami left Monday night, got in Tuesday.
Yep.
So they've been there all week.
Sure.
And teams this year that have gone abroad,
Jacksonville.
Baltimore,
Baltimore.
they have looked quite nice when they've done this.
Yep.
Kansas City did not leave till last night, 10 hours.
Wow. Last night?
Last night, they practiced at their facility, did their normal routine, left Thursday.
That's surprising. I'm surprised by that.
Kansas
Still
City is
Friday,
technically the
Saturday,
home
and
team.
Sunday.
They are 3-1. Miami
Yeah.
is the road team this year, is 2-2. But is it really a road game?
I would imagine there'd be a ton of Chiefs fans there. would be
It
my
is
guess.
the Dolphins visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Zagura.
I was all set to go with the Chiefs. I feel like
You're
everybody.
welcome. I gave you some
it-
insight.
It feels to me like everybody would be.
You can't do that thing. Don't do that thing where
What?
you look and see where the money's at.
Why not?
Because let's just
All right.
go. You got it.
I like the Chiefs in this one. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game.
So do I.
27-24. Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Miami, when they play equal or greater, it hasn't gone great. They don't have. They're competitive. I think it's a great game. The fact that it's on at 9 a.m. It's kind of crazy, but I like having it on. I'm with you. I like Kansas City as well. 31-27.
Oh, baby.
We come back to the good old United States for Baltimore hosting Seattle. A 1 o'clock affair. Seattle headed east. The Seahawks 5-2. The Dolphins are 6-2. Bishop, score. I almost maybe ask you for one thought.
Yeah. No, well, we do that Tuesdays, right? I think
Tuesdays.
a little Tuesday. I think Baltimore's going to win this game. It just to me screams like Geno at the back door in the fourth. It feels like that to me. And after what Baltimore did to me last week when I vouched for them, and they went from up by 3 scores to somehow onside kick recovery, all of that, no scores, no cover. To heck with them. I like Baltimore winning this one 21-17.
Same. Odell Beckham not content with his role in the office there.
Did you see he
Least
was always so
surprising
good
news ever.
here, like around, but like
Yeah.
on the one, he draws a pass interference penalty, and he threw that because he didn't get the touchdown. Yeah, not great.
Not great. Things are going well.
Whoever would have thunk that wouldn't have gone great? Like him in that offense? The only place that he was going to be happy is like a Kansas City or with Stafford
Just
with the
throw.
Rams, like that type of operation. He's not going to be happy anywhere else.
They are throwing it quite a bit.
Onward we go. The Houston Texans, fresh off of losing to the Carolina Panthers, playing host to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers have lost 3 in a row after starting off the year at 3-1. Zagura.
Baker's got a mustache. The Texans, this was a line that I was shocked by, which makes me think they just lost to the Panthers. Who's taking them? They've been tough at home, though. The stars at night are big and bright.
Oh, yeah.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yes,
Texans,
they are.
100. Bucks, 0.
Maybe not so fast.
I struggle with this one. I really do. I don't know what. Houston had all this great momentum. I'm going to ride with Baker. Give me Bucks outright.
Woo!
Bucks outright.
Alrighty. We move forward.
Wow.
The Chicago Bears, 2-6 on the football season, making some moves in the hope of maybe making a move in the playoff race, or just making moves that leave you scratching your head. The Bears visiting the Big Easy and New Orleans. Bishop, one.
New Orleans good at home. Bears really, really bad. I know this is a big score, but I like it. I like New Orleans 75, Bears 2.
Same. I feel like I may rue this one. It feels too easy.
This might be my leading candidate for the inmate game of the week.
Oh, the next one? No, there's worse.
I don't know.
Give it a minute. Give it a minute.
I don't have any interest in anything Chicago or New
So
Orleans.
here's the thing, fellas. 9 o'clock is awesome. Our game's at 1.
Yep.
420 has one awesome game,
Yeah,
and there's
Dallas
a
Philly.
great night game.
One game
Great,
per
But the
session.
rest of the
That's all
1
you
o'clock,
need.
the rest of the 1 o'clock is garbage.
That's all good because you're locked in on the
Garbage.
Browns.
You're garbage.
And hopefully it's a beating.
Yeah. Yep.
Go out, take a walk. Everybody's happy.
I think I would actually watch this next one over Chicago and New Orleans. Minnesota, the Vikings and the Jaron Hall era begin. They travel to Atlanta to take on the gutless Falcons. Drake London is out, starting Taylor Heineke. Great. Just wonderful. Zagura.
I like Heineke.
Same.
I don't like the smug. I just think this is a
I
tough.
hate picking Atlanta because of him.
Dad's
Totally.
FedEx.
And now knowing
Dad's
Totally.
FedEx.
that the dad's FedEx, it makes
Yeah.
me dislike him
even more.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just solid defense. It just feels like an impossible situation for the Vikings, and so I'm actually surprised this is as low as it is.
Yeah, I think it's not enough respect for Heineke because I think he's an upgrade.
A
significant.
big upgrade,
So,
significant.
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. Falcons by $1 billion. Ram it.
Samesies.
Here's some more trash for you. The Rams, 3-5, losers of 2 in a row. Matt Stafford, questionable. I'm told it could literally go right up to kickoff if he is going to play or not play. Rams visiting Lambeau. Gutless Packers have lost 4 in a row since starting 2-1. Bishop.
Rams 3-5 after a
They
nice
look good to start.
They
They
did,
look
yeah.
feisty.
I tend to think that Green Bay just actually sucks though. So I think the Rams are going to go in there. I could see them winning this game 20-19.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I sent Uno an important message. Uno.
Oh gosh.
I need him to go.
You
I
got a
need him to
minion?
go. I need him to go. Bring the great Minister Box.
Oh, he's got to bring Mr. Box.
Minister
in.
Box up.
Minister Box.
I just. Why is Green Bay favored? Is it just because of
I
Stafford?
think it's the Green Bay thing, right? You always got to give. They're like Ohio State football. There's always going to be money on them.
I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I think without any question, the Rams are winning, and thus Packers 4, Rams 0.
Oh God. Oh God.
It feels awful, but that makes no sense.
Uno just picked up a package.
Uno, he's doing it. What can he do?
Handing out packages.
running press conferences, picking up packages.
What can't
I
he
don't know
do?
what's going on?
He's like a
By the way,
sitcom-
if you want a good laugh later, I bet that doesn't get edited out today. You
he's
can go watch that.
like in 6 months, he's going to be working with swag.
Yeah.
We're going to be sitting here he's
We're
gonna be
work- yeah.
cruising through in his cargo shorts, running the operation.
We're going to be working for Uno.
How many things is Uno doing?
He's up in the duck.
By the way, speaking of all the things that
Cleaning
he's
it out.
doing and you acknowledging that,
Yeah.
did I tell you what happened when we were down by the field a couple days ago?
No.
So I come down there getting ready to do an interview.
Yeah.
And Ashby from the great security team, the great
Yeah.
Ashby, is
Ashby.
there.
Love Ashby.
And he's like, you do everything. You work so hard. He's
Yeah.
like, Gibbs, this guy he deserves a raise. Give him a raise. And he said to Gibbs, if it has to come out of your salary, that's fine. And I was like, Ash, come here. Let's embrace, brother. I couldn't believe it. Look at him. Look at him. Such a great player.
I
Totally
still can't believe that.
out of the blue.
On its own.
On its own. Ashby
He's
just
one of the greatest humans
I told
that
Ashby-
I know.
game recognized
I have
game.
never
Ashby.
been more disappointed.
I would have never been more thrilled.
Go ahead, Gibbs. Give him some
That's what he
of
said.
your
He
money.
said he needs a
'Cause I'm
raise.
swimming. in
He's like, he
money.
needs
Yeah,
a
you gotta
raise,
give it-
but if it has to come from you,
I'm doing the
Make it
backstroke
right.
in my
Make it
backyard
right.
in cash.
Make it
Yeah.
right.
Sure, Z. You got it.
All right.
Whatever you need.
thank you, get back.
Up next, Washington.
This is gross. This is
New
gross.
Okay, this might be the
This
one.
one's horrible.
Washington visiting New England. Zagora.
I don't know. I don't like it. It's just none of it's gotten very fun lately. This Washington traded away both of its edges.
Yeah.
Are the Patriots any good? I don't think so.
I don't either.
Sam Howell, some weeks electric, some weeks dreadful.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't even know what to do with this game. I'm going to take, in this one, because I don't know, I'm going to take the side that's getting something, and I'm going to say this game ends 0-0, hence Washington.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I got New England winning huge 3-2.
Huge.
3-2.
Well, here's some more slop for you.
That's what I'm telling you. This is bad.
Yeah.
It's bad
Boy.
ball.
Yeah, I
Bad
really
ball.
thought I had this figured out, but it's gotten progressively worse. Daniel Jones is back for the G-Men. Cade York's been signed by the G-Men.
Cade
to be their
York
kicker.
could be a Cade York Scottish Hammer battery.
I love it.
The
I love it.
Aiden, oh my God. Aiden O'Connell
Lego Jay
era
and the
begins. The pride of Duke, not Coach K, walking in.
Yeah, he's a kooky.
Aiden
There you go.
O'Connell era begins. Vegas hosting the G-Men. Bishop.
This feels like, you remember last year when the fact the Raiders were involved in this game, Jeff Saturday, first time out, rally the troops. We've been the weight on our shoulders has been lifted. We're going to ball out. I actually think it's an improvement to put Aiden O'Connell in there. I think he has a big game. I think Devontae Adams is
See
engaged.
Devontae's shot in the locker room?
Oh yeah. I like
Pure.
the Raiders.
Huge,
Raiders,
of
huge,
course.
huge.
I couldn't agree more.
Huge.
Antonio Pierce's here as presser.
Oh my God. Talking about Compton and growing up being a Raiders fan. Come on. Sold. Yes.
When you drop
Raiders.
Eazy-E and NWA in your intro press conference,
Let's
you're
go.
winning. Yeah, there is not a number that would make me consider taking the Giants. In this
17
game.
and a half.
No. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about it being that
No,
high.
you don't.
No.
Colts have lost 3 in a row. They're visiting the Carolina Panthers, who have a 1-game winning streak. I'll call it a winning streak. Why? Because they didn't have a win prior. 1-6, hosting 3-5. Zagura.
Bryce Young probably had never lost 6 games in his life.
Oh, I'm sure not, because I think he was Mater Dei in
Yeah.
high school, so they don't lose.
No, they do not.
And Bama don't lose.
Nope.
Probably high school, college, all together probably hadn't lost that many.
I think you might go a little streak in here. The Colts,
Ah.
I feel like they're the better team,
Yeah.
and they should win this one easily. But Carolina just played Houston tough. Maybe it gives them a little confidence. Colts win it. They do. On a last-second field goal by Matt Gay from 61 yards. And they win it by the score of 6-5.
Oh, baby. Same but different. Colts win. Just run the two guys. Run Taylor, run Moss, run them both. Don't overthink it. Don't fall in love with Minshew Mania. Just run it. Carolina got off the schneid last week. Come back down to earth. Indy.
Come back down to it. Come on. When you celebrate a 12-yard field goal like that, you're on to
Do you
something.
see that guy?
You're on to something great.
Losing his mind.
The only game worth watching in the 4 o'clock
Perfect.
slate.
Good one. I only
Great
need
game.
one.
You only need one.
Dallas, Philadelphia. Eagles hosting. Eagles 7-1, 3-0 at home. Dallas 2-2 on the road. 5-2 overall, Bishop.
Everybody gets gifts.
Everybody's getting gifts. We got Lego J in the background and a Nick Chubb jersey. Oh, baby.
Look at that
How
guy.
about that?
That's amazing.
A little shout-out to the
world's
fans.
fan, Lego
Yeah.
J, the world's fan.
Yeah, that's right.
Eagles handle their business at home. They're winning by more than 3.
Wow.
Really?
34-27.
Are we concerned about Jalen Hurts?
Nah, not enough.
Are there any
I
concerns?
just
walked
don't-
out of
it's-
his
I
presser
don't
the
believe
other
in
day.
Dallas.
I don't either.
They're not going to Philly and winning. Stop it.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. But I think it's close.
Oh my gosh, even closer.
I think it's close. Eagles,
Oh gosh.
17,647.
Oh baby.
Clearly
Okay.
a private school, man.
Cowboys, 17,645.
Oh baby.
All right, we got to get out. Sunday Night Foosball.
You get out.
Bengals.
That's a great game.
Hosting Buffalo. Zagura.
I think the Bengals are. I think they're on a little bit of a roll here.
Little heater.
47. Bills. 45.
Same.
Wonderful. And
Hey,
those are your
Browns.
scores for Week 9.
You can enter for a chance to win season tickets 2024 season from Sugardale and your local Meijer. Head to browns.com/contest to enter now, and don't forget to grab a Sugardale bacon on your next trip to Meijer. We will call our game coming up next. So much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. I come out to Razzles, Olmsted Falls next Thursday. Gibby's
Yeah.
backyard, baby. 7 to 8, the Coach Show Live.
It's
Anthony
mother-in-law's
Walker.
birthday. I got to figure out how to
Oh,
work
my
around.
God.
Gibby, are you going to be there for that one, or is it going to be a UP?
Oh, it's
I
gotta
Uno
haven't missed
production.
the remote yet, Zagoro.
That's going to be an Uno production brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy.
Uno,
We are
come in the
hosting
camera.
Arizona.
Look at him. In the Salute to Service game hoodie. There he
Look
is.
at that.
Uno. What? The 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Good for him.
Man, I wish I had 4 hands. I'd get 4 thumbs up.
We're beating the brakes off of them.
My legit score, not
Handle
kidding,
your business.
40-0.
There you go.
And then we're going to be all excited.
And then it'll be a big one.
That's going to be a big one.
Act accordingly. Handle your business.
Yes,
and
handle
let's
your
have a big
business.
week.
We're better. This is a bad team coming in without its top 2 rushers, without its quarterback,
Yes.
without its number 2 receiver,
Just
without its tight end.
Act accordingly. Let's
Act
go.
accordingly. Let's go.
Next level's next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.